14 ways the Bible shows that God knows our thoughts. God is omniscient. His wisdom and knowledge know no limits. He knows everything past, present, and future. This includes all events, thoughts, and actions, whether visible or hidden. The Bible repeatedly affirms that God's knowledge of us extends far beyond our actions and words to encompass our deepest thoughts, intentions, and desires. This reminds us that nothing is hidden from Him, encouraging us to live with sincerity and alignment with His will. Here are 14 powerful ways the Bible shows that God knows exactly what's on our minds. Welcome to my channel, God's Care Jesus. Today's God's message for you, so let's start earlier with likes, shares. 1. He searches all hearts. I, the Lord, search the heart and examine the mind, to reward each person according to their conduct, according to what their deeds deserve. Jeremiah 17:10. When the Bible tells us that God searches all hearts, it speaks of a deliberate and thorough examination of our inner selves. It's not just that He's aware of our thoughts. He also actively engages with the deepest recesses of our minds. His knowledge isn't superficial, but dives into the true intentions we often hide from others. God doesn't search our hearts so that He can condemn or punish us. Instead, He desires to refine and help us grow. He's guiding us toward becoming better versions of ourselves by revealing both the goodness He's planted inside and the areas where we need change. While it might feel uncomfortable at times, this process is essential for our growth, showing just how committed He is to our sanctification. 2. Nothing is hidden. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. Psalm 139:2. David's profound statement describing how God sees our thoughts from afar shows the comprehensive nature of divine knowledge. Whether it's physical or figurative, distance doesn't stop God from understanding what's going on in our minds and hearts. This omniscient awareness covers not just the thoughts we're conscious of, but also the hidden meanings and reasons that we might not even understand ourselves. This profound knowledge of our thoughts should inspire both humility and trust. It encourages us to live authentically before God, knowing that nothing is hidden from His sight. Moreover, it reminds us of His constant presence, giving us confidence that God is always with us, guiding and understanding every aspect of our lives, even our silent thoughts. 3. He knows our thoughts even before they're spoken. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. Psalm 139:4. God doesn't need to wait for us to speak our thoughts. He knows them even before we do. His understanding transcends time and human limitations, showing how deeply connected He is to His creation. His advanced knowledge of our thoughts and words serves as a powerful reminder of God's intimate involvement in our inner mind. This truth should comfort those who struggle to express themselves in prayer, knowing that God understands their hearts' intentions even before they attempt to voice them. It also challenges us to maintain thoughtful integrity, recognizing that our unspoken thoughts are as clear to God as our spoken words. 4. He does not look at the things people look at, but the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. While humans often judge based on external factors, such as looks, status, or achievements, God prioritizes the inner qualities of a person's heart. His ability to discern the true nature of individuals reveals that He values integrity, character, and intentions over superficial traits. 5. He tests the hearts and minds, bring to an end the violence of the wicked and make the righteous secure. The righteous God who probes minds and hearts. Psalm 7-9. When we talk about God testing our hearts and minds, it means He looks beyond our actions to understand the reasons behind them. This verse shows us that God deeply understands who we are at our core. Knowing our thoughts, motives, and intentions, His examination goes beneath the surface, assessing the sincerity of our hearts. In this testing process, we learn to understand ourselves more clearly, allowing us to grow spiritually. It may involve moments that bring our true thoughts and motivations to the surface, so that we may see ourselves as God sees us. This testing should be viewed not as punishment, but as a loving Father's means of developing character and faith in His children. 6. No secret thoughts. Would not God have discovered it, since He knows the secrets of the heart? Psalm 44-21. The psalmist's rhetorical question, would not God discover this, emphasizes the futility of attempting to conceal any thought from divine awareness. This truth extends beyond mere knowledge to include a perfect understanding of those thoughts we deliberately try to hide, even from ourselves. 7. Perfect knowledge of human thoughts. Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them, every kingdom divided against itself will be ruined, and every city or household divided against itself will not stand. Matthew 12:25. Jesus demonstrated His divine knowledge by perceiving the thoughts of the Pharisees before they spoke. They were silently accusing Him, but Jesus addressed their unspoken thoughts directly. showing that God's knowledge extends even to the most hidden corners of the mind. This illustrates that nothing escapes God's, noticing it even the silent judgments we hold in our hearts. 8. His eyes are everywhere. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. Proverbs 15:3. The verse above illustrates God's omnipresence, indicating that He is always aware of what occurs in every corner of the world. This knowledge instills a sense of accountability and reverence. Knowing that He observes our thoughts and actions can serve as a powerful motivator to live righteously. It encourages us to align our lives with His teachings, knowing that He is always watching over us. Moreover, this omnipresence provides comfort during difficult times, as we can rest in the assurance that God is aware of our struggles and triumphs, never leaving us unnoticed or unprotected. 9. Nothing is hidden from His sight. Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. Everything is uncovered and laid bare before the eyes of Him to whom we must give account. Hebrews 4:13, understanding that nothing can be hidden from God, encourages us to embrace authenticity in our spiritual journeys. Instead of trying to uphold a front of righteousness while concealing unholy thoughts, we can find freedom in being fully known and loved by Him. This understanding opens the door to a more sincere relationship with God, built on total honesty and trust. 10. The Spirit searches everything. These are the things God has revealed to us by His Spirit. The Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God. 1 Corinthians 2:10. The verse above means that God, through His Spirit, understands the depths of human thought and emotion. He knows not only what we think, but also the underlying reasons behind our thoughts. The Holy Spirit plays a role in revealing this divine understanding to believers, helping us comprehend the things of God. 11. He knows our hearts. God, who knows the heart, showed that He accepted them by giving the Holy Spirit to them, just as He did to us. Acts 15:8. The early church's understanding that God knows the heart highlighted His deep understanding of both Gentile and Jewish believers. This knowledge goes beyond cultural and religious differences, touching the very essence of who we are and what drives us. Because God knows our hearts perfectly, the early church could see true faith for what it really is, rather than just judging by outward religious practices. 12. He knows our needs before they're asked. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. Matthew 6:8. While we are encouraged to pray and express our needs, the verse above reminds us that God is fully aware of our thoughts and concerns even before we voice them. Understanding that God knows our needs before we ask should transform our approach to prayer. Rather than anxiously trying to explain our situation to God, we can focus on developing deeper trust in. 13. He sees beyond our actions. All a person's ways seem pure to them, but motives are weighed by the Lord. Proverbs 16:2. While humans might justify their actions as good, God sees the real motivations behind them. He looks beyond what we do and evaluates why we do it, highlighting His perfect knowledge of both our thoughts and intentions. 14. Aligning our thoughts with God's truth. The timeless truth that God knows every thought we have carries